Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm back with another review. This is your boy, Jay of Preach Boy TV, and you are back with another week and another video with your boy. Empire Season 1, episode, I don't know. But we're going to get into this episode. I'm going to have information in the title box. Make sure you click the thumbs up on this video, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. After this video, Big Frida season 3 will be up next. So stay tuned and let's get into this review. We start the episode off with a flashback. And the flashback was the time that Cookie was in court and we were waiting on the judge to get the verdict of whether Cookie was going to jail or not. As you know, we already know she goes to jail. She's like, hugging on her kids, loving her kids, because she pretty much knows that she is going away for a good deal of time. She's telling Jamal, she hugged him, telling her kids she loves him, telling Andre she loves him. Hakeem, she loves Hakeem at this time was a baby. So with that being said, you can kind of understand why Hakeem is like so disrespectful to his mother because he at the time when she had to go away, he did not understand why she had to go away. He didn't understand the circumstances, nor did he know what it was except because he was a baby and only Andre and Jamal pretty much knew or understood what was pretty much going on to an extent that their mother was gone. So with that being said, we get that scene now. We see the aftermath of the sex. We know Anika came in and seen it, and she left out and act like so she didn't want to be caught seeing it because she's gonna bring it up to him later on in the episode as we see. So that being said, Cookie's in the bed and Lucia's getting dressed and getting his cufflinks together, and he's like egging her on, and he's like, Cookie's like, you're not gonna get nothing more of this until you get rid of that debutante bitch. And he's like, I'm going to get rid of her. I'm going to come back with you. I'm going to call it off. And she's like, you better, because she's basically saying that I can make you better, and I can do better than she can. She starts calling out what she can do and what she's going to do, and she gets it done. The first thing she calls out is she wants to do a family record of the song that she was singing it in her flashback scene, and he actually sung to her, and which was one of the songs that was playing in the background before they actually had sexual intercourse. So she wants to get the family together and make it a family affair. Since Empire Incorporated is based on family. But anyway, you can see that the thing between them of becoming lit, they're getting back to that stage now. So I'm like, okay, where this is going and how long is it going to go there? But not Lucius, but Jamal and Hakeem meet up at the Catholic church, and Hakeem is there praying, and I'm like, okay, it takes your dad being on his sick bed, which not really, but really, before you start to get your act together, and before y'all start to do a record together, before all the bickering and the fighting stops. So this is all it takes. Like I'm not understanding where this is coming from. Jamal wants to be on his knees and praying and want to act all good, all holy, and I want to be a good kid now. I want to stop disrespecting my mom because your dad is dying. Now, what's the real tea on that situation? Because I'm thinking there could have been a lot more that could have been said or understood to the point to where and it didn't have to get to this breaking point. So now you want to act right and follow what mama and daddy says, or do this for daddy, or do this for you, or stop the bickering between your brother because it's childish. But with that being said, that's just what it is. It's just Hakeem, it's just Jamal, it's just Lucius, it's just that's it. So we get the scene with everybody in the studio. Cookie, Lucius, Jamal, Hakeem. All the talented four are in the studio. And Jamal is feeling left out because he comes in, sees the vibe, all the family intercourse, and he's not talented like that because he's book smart. He's handling the books, he handles the paperwork. So he's not in with them, so he kind of gets jealous as he sees them intertwine and work together because they all have a talent. They can sing or they can rap. He can sing because of Cookie, and Hakeem can rap because of Jamal. Because as you see, I know y'all paid attention to the vocals Cookie slash Taraji Henson was given in that studio. She was giving the kids life, but as you know, that's Cookie. Y'all know that Empire. So Anika comes in and talks with Lucius. She tells Lucius that she knows about the intercourse between Cookie. Cookie's like he's like, so that's all you're gonna tell me after she tells him that about the CPR, CEO, or CPO, or whatever that acronym is about he did. The thing that Andre was freaking out last week is not what she's bringing up because it has something to do with her father, which is kind of in a sense would be fraudulent because if it backfires, that the father could go down, and she just confessed to him that if he goes down, she is bringing everything down with him. And I'm not understanding what is not clicking in Lucius's head because before you proposed to her, you told her that in 3 years that you would die because you have ALS, and the hooker still put on the ring and said she's going to marry you. I told y'all that you're going to have to watch out for Anika, and we're going to get to that towards the end of the episode because you can any bitch that will still marry you after she knows that this marriage is only going to last for 3 years. She thinks she's going to inherit empire, and it's not going to happen. It's so much sneaky and conniving going on with the. We gonna get to it, but just like that, and now she's like, and then now she confessed to you in your face that she's gonna take everything from you, and everything's gonna go down with her father. So that should let you know, do not trust her. But hey, that's the kind of person you are. You would think that Crook will recognize Crook, but Crook don't recognize Dee and Sneaky, and that's what Anika is. So we're back at the studio, and Hakeem is in the studio, and he's getting ready to perform his track for the song. And Cookie is the producer, so she is giving him pointers on what to do and what not to do. She's telling him to back off of the song a little bit and give it some air and let it flow naturally. He's giving too much, but no, he gets mad. He gets all biggie and biggie, gets disrespectful. He's like, so you come here and do the shit. Throws the headphones at the stand in the window and just not everything's over. And Cookie's like, you know what, you're a punk, you're this and you're that. You can't take constructive criticism. Uh, Lucius jumps in, it's like, stop disrespecting your mother. You listen, she's the producer. He's like, this and that. And he's like, you know what? Y'all two need to get along. I'm dying, and y'all need to get along because you're gonna have to work together. You're the producer, and he's like going back and forth with him. He's like, you know what? Hakeem, tell Cookie why you mad at her. Tell her what's going on. And Cookie's like, man, I ain't got time for you. Get your ass back in the booth. We ain't got time for this come to Jesus Dr. Phil moment. He's like, Hakeem, tell her. And he breaks down. It's like, I feel like you love Jamal more than me. I feel like you don't care for me. Yeah, stuff like that. I'm like, wasn't you the one disrespecting her? And you didn't even know the circumstance that she was going to jail behind? And last time I checked, I didn't see you at the jail. I seen Jamal at the jail. Even Lucius didn't even come to visit her. He just brought in Jamal. And last time I checked, okay, you feel this way about Cook, but don't you think Jamal feel the same way about Lucius? When he was thrown in the garbage can for putting no heels? He's been discriminated against. The dad stopped supporting him because he's gay. Disrespecting him. So, your feel towards Jamal, I'm not understanding it, and it's stupid and it's petty. But they have a come to Jesus moment. Iyanla flew in her spirits and fixed that moment without even having to be in their presence. They came to Jesus, get back, they hug each other, love on each other, and boom, the relationship begins to rise between Jamal and Cookie. Andre White goes over to this elderly man. I get they talk about some kind of ALS situation and talk about a cure, but somehow Andre is using her to pawn so he can become CEO of Empire because him and Lucius' friend is now back scheming together. But that falls, and she's like, you know what? I'm tired of you using me for this scheme. I'm not doing it no more. Hakeem Hakeem, after talking with old cougar that he's dating with and put in his head that you need to go last. So he brings the situation up to Cookie. It's like, Cookie, I want to go last on the song. And this is at the white party. Remind you. Somebody he wants to go last on the song. And she's like, you know what? Okay. We can work that. We can work that out. So we're at the boardroom and we're getting a meeting, and all the executive, all the uh, head honcho people of the corporation is in the room, and Andre is making his plea about being the intern to be CEO when Lucius's body begins to take over firmly, and he gets, when he gets his body starts to take over, and he begins to almost go into the stage of dying. He's not gonna be there to have the final say so over things. He's not gonna be able to sign papers and do this and that. So they take a vote on who's gonna be CEO. Now this is where the plan backfires on on Andre and friends, because everybody in the boardroom except two people, and that was Cookie and a white person, who said yay. Everybody else said nay. Even Lucius said nay, and the reason why Lucius is saying nay, because he knew something. You can tell he knew something. He looked at him with a devious, like, I know what you're up to, eye, and walks out. And we later find out in the meeting that, hey, I don't trust you. When you bring that white woman in my house, I don't trust you. When you start scheming behind my back with my friend, I don't trust you. So you're not going to be the CEO. I'm going to put somebody in the CEO position that cares about my family. Hint, Cookie, because a nigga don't give a damn about the family. If he give it to nigga, I'm gonna go in a full rant on the next review. But Lucius bring Anika to the all-white party and flaunts her around after she made him get rid of Cookie and said, we're gonna push this wedding up. We're making plans next week. We're gonna make the announcement at the end of the white party, and we're gonna get married next week. He promised her. He does it. So he brings her, flaunts her around, and she is flaunting a nice white gown to the all-white party, while Cookie is flaunting a good ponytail, red lipstick, and a strap neck dress tight to her. I'm just with her back up and just serving you all kinds of Cookie Monster realness. Like, bitch, I'm here and I'm here to stay. So, with that being said, and Cookie is talking to Jamal, he's like, you and Dad been kicking it and having sex. My yes, and she's like, you shouldn't do that. She's like, why? Because he don't know how to love you. He only loves himself. And she's like, child, bye. And we find out why Anika is here, because she's going to make the announcement of the engagement and the wedding at the end of the party. Lucius just tell Cookie is pissed off and hurt, and Cookie goes and talks to Anika. It's like, congratulations on the engagement. She's like, yeah, if you come to tell me about the little powwow I had in my bedroom, I already know. So do you know about the powwow we had in the studio last night? And she looked at stunned. She's like, again, congratulations. And every time a nigga tries to come for Cookie, Cookie shuts her down. And even Cookie comes to shut old Cougar down too, because Cougar, how you gonna throw shade in a situation and get shut down immediately? 911 shut down shade was there. Cookie shut you down. You're gonna have to know talking about, well, you're older than me, somebody know, boo, you're half my age, sweetheart. And you trying to fuck around with my son, somebody who's half yours, he's a child. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm looking at her like, you better read. And I'm like, okay, you can't throw shade. If you don't throw shade, you're gonna have to throw some shade, and she can't come back with it. But she came back with it, and she couldn't do nothing but walk away. But anyway, Jamal performed first at the always party, and through his song he comes out as a homosexual and as a gay person after meeting with and getting advice from the photographer. And I kind of think that was going to be a little booth session that they will end up getting together, because they either next episode they spend more and more time together. So I'm trying to see where this goes. So we're gonna see. So stay tuned. But anyway, he comes out his gate, and the next thing, I mean, it's all over the news, even in Spanish they're translated. It has hit the top fan that Jamal performs his daddy hit single and comes out as gay. I'm like, what better way to do with Jamal? You better do that. Even I was here for when he was having daddy, father, and daughter time with his daughter. That was so touching. I was like, okay, Jamal, you better do that. You better have father and daddy time. You better be there with your daughter. You better bring in. You better do that. But anyway, so Jamal comes, not Jamal, but Hakeem comes and knocks on Jamal's door and comes and congratulates him, and they have this brother to moment when he tells him that I'm proud of what you done and you're the most brave person I know. Congratulations, and I'm proud of you and I love you. They hug it out. I'm like, okay, brother, love, okay, okay, come on, okay. Now, after I already talked about the meeting with the friend and Jamal, so we're gonna get to the last scene when Anika, while Lucius is talking to Cookie, trying to find out what had she said anything to Anika, because that day they were supposed to be going out and going to the wedding planner, but she never shows up because the low down dirty skis is going to meet with the enemy and going to set up a scheme behind Lucius's back that's going to end up backfire in the next episode. So while he's trying to confront Cookie and dogging Cookie out and making her believe one thing and he's really doing another, and lying, your person who you claim you finna marry is not setting the scheme up to get your money. So that's a to be continued to the next week episode. Stay tuned. This is Empire Season 1 episode. I don't know, will be down in the title box. Please like, comment, subscribe. Big Freezer is coming up next. Peace.